Can someone please pitch to Yordan Alvarez on a 20-8 run? We got a 15-game slate. Let's talk some baseball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and happy Dinger Tuesday to everyone. Yesterday, we went 2-2. I know we're used to winning days. We had our fourth losing day in the last 27 by losing 0.38 units. You know what? If that's a bad day, we'll take it. Still on a 20-8 run, but we will talk about those bets in just a little bit. But before we get into Dinger Tuesday and everything, we got two new Jabbo MVPs. Let's pull it up. All right, there it is at Lovely Milkshake FD6DB and at Rust the Riot 5631. Thank you guys for the support. I appreciate it and becoming a Jabbo MVP. It really means a lot. And if you guys want to join, click that join button below. It's only $2.99 a month. I don't charge for anything. Obviously, it's never required. Always appreciated. We get some badges, emojis, prioritized replies, things like that. But anyways, I want to thank those two for becoming a Jabbo MVP. But now it is Dinger Tuesday time, baby. That's right. If you are new to the channel, we do this every single Tuesday. $20 to the winner. Here we go. Leave your home run bet in the comments with the odds and sportsbook. That's right. You have to have the odds in the sportsbook that you found it in there, or you are not eligible to win. Then the higher odds will take it home. So if a plus 300 wins, plus 500 wins, obviously plus 500 takes it. If we have the same odds, it will be the longest home run hit. And if we have a tie with the same player, we will have a Wednesday showdown, which we have actually had twice already this year. So that's the Dinger Tuesday. Be sure to leave that comment below. But we have a full 15-game slate to get into. So let's start out with that baseball fun fact like we usually do. So here we go. Only one duo has ever hit back-to-back home runs twice in the same freaking inning. Do you know who they are? Two Seattle Mariners. And it's Mr. Mike Cameron and Brett Boone in May of 2002. That's right. I was in high school. I remember it. It was the game Mike Cameron hit 4 bombs. It was pretty impressive, but to hit back-to-back in the same inning is pretty insane, that's for sure. But in this video, we're going to recap yesterday and then, of course, go over those good and bad hitter matchups, talk about those good pitcher strikeout matchups, show you that full pitcher report, and then, of course, we got that big game breakdown, which I had you guys vote on what game you wanted to see. It was on the community tab on our YouTube page. And then, of course, we'll finish it with the best bets, the hitter parlay ideas, and the bets recap. Hit that like button. Leave a comment below. Every time you guys leave a comment or hit the like button, it helps this channel grow, helps more people on YouTube see it. So I really appreciate it. And when I say we, I mean we, but we are very close to 27,000 subscribers. So I want to say thank you to you guys. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We talk NFL, NBA, and MLB, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So let's get it started, and that means it's recap time. All right, there it is, a 2-2 day, and this first one hurt, guys. We lost on the hook. The Dodgers had the lead after 5, so that was no problem. The under 5.5 lost because there was 6 runs. The Dodgers only scored in one inning in the first 5 innings, and it happened to be the bottom of the third where they scored 4 to make it a 4-2 game. That just hurt. If they would have scored 3, this bet is a winner, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. Second one, 1 unit win. Giants minus 1.5, minus 115. They were up 4-0 at one point, and they won 4-1. It got a little dicey at the end because the Giants could just continue to not score runs. Even though second and third, nobody out, couldn't get it done. But either way, the bullpen got it done, and they cashed that one. Logan Allen over 1.5 walks. How about a first inning cash? The only idiotic move I made was not making that a full unit play. My goodness, that was an easy winner. And then the fourth one, Yordan Alvarez. I don't know what to tell you guys. He got intentionally walked in both of his last 2 at-bats. And this is the problem I sometimes have putting power hitters up there. If there's any chance to not have to pitch to him, they're going to do it. And unfortunately, even in extra innings, even in 5 at-bats, he had 3 other chances, so it's not like it was just that. But those 2 intentional walks hurt. Devers got his hit, of course, but either way, that killed us. So 1 hit there, 1 run there. You know how it goes. But either way, 2-2 day, 20-8 run. We will take it if this is a bad day. But now it's back to the winning ways, hopefully, on Tuesday. But there's our overall record up 3.14 units on the season after a terrible start, as most of you know. But that's the recap. And now let's talk some good and bad hitter matchups. All right, we got 12 of these for you today, and it starts with a guy who I feel like I'm putting on here every single day, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 5 for 14 off Grayson Rodriguez with a home run. He's been on an absolute tear. George Springer's teammate, 6 for 14 off Grayson. And then Trey Turner, who's just been struggling lately, as a lot of Phillies hitters have, as they lose again today or yesterday. Trey Turner, though, 6 for 13 versus Kershaw. That is pretty impressive. And then we have a lot of Baltimore Orioles, like Eloy Jimenez, 5 for 11 against Bassett Hound. Ryan O'Hearn, 5 for 9 off of him. Adley Rutschman, 3 for 9. And then we have Gunnar Henderson, 4 for 7. They have seen him a lot, and they have had a lot of success against him. Other than that, JD Martinez over there, 5 for 9 as well. So take a screenshot. Hopefully this helps you get some winners. And now let's check out the bad hitter matchups for the day. And we have 6 of them for you, including Bryce Harper, who is just struggling in general. 5 for 27, though. 14 strikeouts versus Clayton Kershaw. Not an easy matchup. Dansby Swanson, I don't know who is actually betting Dansby Swanson bets. But 8 Ks, 3 for 22, and then so on and so on, down to the one guy that people might actually bet, Stephen Kwan, 1 for 10, only 2 Ks against the guy making his season debut, the lefty Eduardo Rodriguez. So those are the good and bad hitter matchups. And now let's talk some arms. We got 2 of these for you today, and it starts out with Luis Gil of the New York Yankees facing the Angels. Angels 12th highest K percentage versus righties the last 3 weeks. Starting to climb the ladder a little bit, not in the way they want to. 23.9%, and then Gil has found his groove. 132 Ks in 112.2 innings, and his home K rate has been better. We talked about it earlier this year. 31.6% compared to 25.3 on the road. And of course, he is at home here. He did have 9 Ks already against the Angels this season, and he's had 6 or more Ks in 4 straight starts. Now, Sonny Gray of the Cardinals facing the Tampa Bay Rays. We talked about this when we faded the Rays and cashed a bet not too long ago. I think it was Schwellenbach. I don't remember exactly who it was. But the Rays are striking out more. After those trades, they got rid of some low K guys, and they are striking out more. As you can see, 3rd highest K percentage now versus righties in the last 3 weeks at 26.2%. Sonny Gray, 147 Ks and 118.2. This is a guy who doesn't matter home or road. It's absolutely identical. 30.8% K rate both. 6+ Ks in 7 straight starts and 7+ in 3 straight. So he's been pretty consistent with strikeouts, and he has not faced the Rays this season. So those are the 2 best pitcher strikeout matchups for you. And now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, these are the first 8 matchups of the day, and we start out with the lefty Eduardo Rodriguez of the D-backs making his season debut. He is a guy, if you remember, I think it was a year ago, got traded to the Dodgers, and then he declined to go there. But he has had some really good seasons. He can strike out some guys, but he can also lose his command and all that. Again, first start, probably going to be on a pitch count. Been a while since he's thrown. Going up against Ben Lively, and then Dylan Cease, who's been as good as it gets in the MLB lately. Unbelievable, of course, with that no-hitter, and followed up the no-hitter with one heck of a start as well. Going up against Bailey Falter. Lodolo, Meyer, nothing exciting there. Obviously, Lodolo can strike out some guys, but Meyer doesn't have too much lower of a K rate as well. And then Birdsong. This rookie has been good for the Giants. My goodness. Terrible name, or maybe it's a great name. I haven't decided yet. But 30.2% K rate. He is someone who can lose his command a little bit, as you can see by that 11.9% walk rate. But 2.97 ERA. Good start. Only 30.1 innings for him. Going up against the lefty Mackenzie Gore, who's been a little hit and miss lately. And then the guy we love to fade, Davis Daniel of the Angels. 4.91 ERA, 9.8 hits per 9 innings. The only thing he does well is not walk people, which unfortunately means he runs into more bats probably. But Luis Gil has really found his groove again. You can see the numbers. He has been dynamite lately. And Grayson Rodriguez, Chris Bassett, feel like we see this matchup all the time for some reason. But Bassett has struggled in July. And then Colin Ray, Bryce Elder, nothing huge there. But Jeffrey Springs making his second start of the season after throwing 3.2 innings, did okay. But he's a guy who threw the ball really well before his injury. And then Sonny Gray, we know all about. So that's the first 8 matchups of the pitcher report. Take a screenshot. Of course, all the averages are on the bottom to help you guys out. And now let's take a look at page 2. All right, we got some decent pitchers on this page at the top, including Tyler Mahle, who is going to be making his first start of the season. He's a guy who's been known to miss bats, but coming off an injury against Framber Valdez of the Astros. And then not a bad matchup in Wrigley Field. How about Shota Imanaga versus Pablo Escobar? That is not too shabby of one. Both guys know how to miss bats and don't walk a lot of guys as well. So Boston KC, we're going to talk about that series or that game in just a little bit. And then other than that, you know, the pitchers kind of get a little weaker as you get to the bottom, towards the bottom until you hit Mr. Christopher Sanchez versus Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw, rough start so far, but only 7.2 innings, 5.87 ERA. You know, we'll see if he can turn that around. I'm assuming he's going to, but it's going to take a while, obviously, with all the injuries he's dealt with. And Sanchez has just been solid all season long. But a guy who has I don't even know why he's continuing to make starts, is Mr. Montero of the Tigers going up against the Mariners and Luis Castillo. So that's the final 7 matchups. Take a screenshot. Hopefully it helps you with your betting, get some winners, whatever it is. And now it is time for the big game breakdown. All right, you guys voted, and we are heading out to Kansas City, where the Royals are hosting the Boston Red Sox. Royals on the money line minus 135, Red Sox on the money line plus 114, with a total of 9 runs. Let's talk the spot real quick. This will be the 5th game of a 6-game road trip for the Red Sox. They are 6-4 in their last 10. Royals, 2nd game of a short 5-game homestand, and they are 7-3 in their last 10. Red Sox won the first game of the series. As you guys may have seen already, they just hit the crap out of the ball. We'll talk about that later. But starting pitcher matchup, Brian Bayo versus Seth Lugo. So let's talk about Mr. Bayo first. He has over a 5 ERA this season, but he has been decent lately, giving up 2 or 3 earned runs now in 4 straight starts. One of those was against this Royals team where he threw 6.1 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 earned runs, and struck out 3. Now, after a terrible May where he had a 5.66 ERA, he really turned it around. After not only May, June was an 8.25 ERA, but in July, 4.29 ERA, which is pretty decent for him. He is not a guy who's going to miss a lot of bats. We've talked about him before. But some home road splits. Home ERA 5.71 with a 296 average against. Road ERA is a little bit lower, 4.5 ERA with a 255 average against. Similar K rate splits. Lower walk rate on the road, 6.7% compared to 9.5% in Fenway. Now, righty-lefty splits. This is crazy, but he's faced the exact same amount of righties and lefties. 235 righties, 235 lefties. And he has a very similar average against, but more slugging to lefties with a 500 slugging to them, 401 slugging to righties. 11 of those 17 home runs he has given up this year have been to lefties. 14 of the 23 doubles he has given up this year have been to lefties as well. He has a higher K rate versus righties, 25.1% compared to only 18.7% to lefties. Higher walk rate to lefties, 8.9, 7.2 righties. Again, everything says that lefties have a better chance off of him. But righties do too, honestly. He struggles 3rd time through the order, 6.66 ERA. Not a surprise for a guy who already has over a 5 ERA on the season. But 4.95 ERA the first time through the order, a 4.04 ERA the second time through the order. Now, let's talk about Mr. Seth Lugo. We are finally starting to see some of that negative regression, but he still has a 2.57 ERA. You already saw it, 3.79 expected ERA, and he has a 4.78 ERA in July. So it's starting to come, and that was in 26.1 innings. In those 26.1 innings in July, he only struck out 19 guys also. Now, 2 months prior, Here's part of it. 2 months prior, before July, May and June, he left 89.5% and 78.4% of runners on base. He was getting out of jams. He was making it work, but it's not very sustainable. All of a sudden, here comes July. He has now left only 56.5% of runners on base, and that's why you see an ERA almost 5 in the month of July. In the last 4 starts, he has 2 good and 2 bad. But do the 2 good ones count? It's against a hurt Detroit lineup and against the White Sox. The 2 bad ones against the Cubs and this same exact Red Sox team that he just faced on July 13th. In 5 innings, he gave up a whopping 10 hits and 5 earned runs. It was not pretty. Home road splits for Mr. Lugo, 2.80 ERA, 225 average against. Road, 2.37 ERA, 210 average against. A little lower on the road, but still both good numbers. But lower K rate at home, 19.4% compared to 22.4%, 22.9% on the road, and then somewhat similar walk rates as well. Now, righties, lefties. Lefties have a higher average, but it's still 233 with 332 slugging. Righties, a 201 average with 335 slugging, so very similar slugging there. But 8 of his 12 home runs given up have been to righties. He does have a slightly higher K rate, nothing huge, 22.3% to lefties and 20.2% K rate to righties. And he does have a higher walk rate to lefties, 7.1% to 3.8% walk rate to the righties. Those are the pitchers. Now let's talk some offenses. The Red Sox, if you missed it, they had 18 flipping hits in the first game of this series yesterday. They have been unbelievable lately. Red Sox versus righties, and this is the last 3 weeks. 3rd best WRC+, 2nd best OPS, the best slugging in Major League Baseball. They have power against righties right now. 3rd lowest K rate. They're just up there to swing. 3rd lowest walk rate, not K rate. They are up there because they want to crush balls and they don't want to walk. And now the Royals, 9th best WRC+ versus righties the last 3 weeks. 14th OPS, 8th in slugging, 6th lowest walk rate. So these are teams that do not like to walk a lot, and they have the number 1 lowest K rate against righties in the major leagues at only 13.9%. That is an insanely low number. That's wild. But both teams swinging the bat pretty well, but Red Sox are just on another level right now. Now, bullpens last 3 days, Red Sox, the 4th highest ERA. It has not been pretty. 5.70, and the xFIP backs it up. 3rd highest xFIP at 5.04. The Royals average 16th best ERA, 3.97, 19th in xFIP at 4.07. Arms used, nothing huge here. Red Sox, if you watch that game, they didn't throw any like super high leverage arms or anything. Boozer and Garcia both threw 15 and 16 pitches, and then that starter turned reliever-ish Cooper Criswell threw 25 pitches. For the Royals, Zerpa and Stratton both threw over 20 pitches. Other than that, they should be good to go. So, with all that said, I actually have a best bet, and it's a 1-unit play because I found some good odds on Bet365. The Red Sox team total over 3.5. That's minus 135 on Bet365 for 1 unit. I don't understand how we're getting a playable 3.5 line on a team that is absolutely demolishing the ball. Did I mention against Brady Singer, who's been good at home, and this Royals decent bullpen? They just got 18 hits yesterday. They are scorching hot. It's insane. But they have now scored 4 or more runs in 13 of the last 15 games, guys. That's not righties, lefties. That's just overall 13 of the last 15 they've gone over this. Recent righties versus Boston. Boston scored 4 runs off of Singer, 5 off of Evaldi, 7 off Urania, 2 off George Kirby, 3 off Luis Castillo, 7 off of Logan Gilbert, and 5 off of Marcus Stroman. They're hitting the ball, guys. This is just off the starting pitcher. This isn't for the whole game. We also have the bullpen, obviously. Weather is great for hitting again in Kansas City, as you guys know. Total's 9 for a reason. I know Lugo's been good at limiting runs. His overall ERA says that, but that's why I think we're getting a great buy low spot. You're not going to get a team who's one of the top 3 offenses in the league right now at a 3.5 total, unless they're facing just some elite starting pitcher. Seth Lugo's not that elite starting pitcher. So if he keeps pitching like he has been in July with that ERA of 4.78, giving up some hits, not being able to wiggle out of all the jams, but he's also a guy that can give up a little bit of power. And this Red Sox team, as you know, the number 1 slugging offense last 3 weeks. So they're going to get 9 guaranteed at-bats. Give me the Red Sox to score 4+ runs off of Lugo and this Royals bullpen as my first best bet. All right, this second one takes us out to Toronto, Canada, where the Blue Jays are hosting the Baltimore Orioles. Orioles on the money line, minus 150. Jays on the money line, plus 125, with a total of 8.5 runs. Before I get to this best bet, I have to tell you that Ryan told me something right before doing this one bet, that he did not know an Oriole was an actual bird. I don't know what to say to you guys, but I just had to share that. And I'm going to make fun of him, so you guys can too in the comments. But you're going to see graphics on this bet. It is from an app called Outlier. If you're not a part of it, you are completely missing out. It's a one-stop shop for your betting research. If you are running out of time on researching bets, this is the way to go for MLB, NBA, NFL. It's got everything, but you'll see some screenshots on this one. Now, finally, the best bet. It's a 1-unit play. Give me Chris Bassett over 5.5 hits allowed at minus 115 on Bet365. I think it's minus 115 on another book as well. But as you guys can see by this graphic right here, my goodness, can the Orioles hitters absolutely crush Chris Bassett? And we saw it earlier in the good hitter matchups as well. I mean, Gunnar Henderson, 4 for 7. Adley, 3 for 9. O'Hearn, 5 for 9. Eloy Jimenez, 5 for 11. Ramon Urias, as you see there, 3 for 4. Anthony Santander, 3 for 10. Guys, it's insane. Those 6 guys right there are 23 for 50, almost a 500 average off of Chris Bassett. They absolutely crush him. So, you want to know why? Well, Bassett struggles versus lefties, and that's why he struggled against the Orioles. He has given up a 291 average with a 443 slugging to lefties this season. I expect the Orioles to have about 7 or 8 lefties in the lineup today. And the Orioles also versus righties the last 3 weeks have the 7th highest batting average. Now, Bassett has also given up a 315 average overall in the month of July. That is no bueno. Bassett has already faced the Orioles this season, like I mentioned, in his very last start, and he gave up 9 hits in 4 innings. We just need him to give up 6 here. He's usually a bit better at home, like most people think. But as you can see by this other screenshot from Outlier, he is over this line in 4 of his last 5 home games, and over by quite a bit in some of them. So he's given up a 274 average at home and 268 average on the road, so he's actually given up a higher average at home. So the home away thing is not really a thing this year for him. He has now given up 5+ hits in 8 straight starts. So that means, I know we need 6, but if 5 is the floor here, I love our chances against a good Orioles lineup. If the Orioles don't hit with runners in scoring position, and we can still easily cash this. So I'm not worried about that. I just need them to get the hits. And also in his last 3 home starts, in case you're curious, it was against Tampa, Detroit, and Houston. In case you did not see that, if you're giving up 7 hits to the Tigers at home, you should be able to give up 6 against the Baltimore Orioles. That's just kind of common knowledge there. But like I said, the Orioles, ton of lefties. They crush Bassett, have a ton of good history. I also like Bassett's under 17.5 outs recorded line. It was actually between one or the other, but I'm going to go with this one. So send in the Bassett Hound as my second best bet. All right, before we get into this third bet, I got to tell you about the other sponsor we have. It's KALSHI, guys. Federally regulated in 50 states. There is no other website like it. It is a ton of fun. If you are looking for a website to go have some fun and trade and buy and sell contracts and things like that, it's like stocks. So if you love stocks, this is like that, except for all world events. As you guys know, me and Ryan have been doing trades of the day and having a ton of fun doing it and actually winning some money, whether it's music, movies, politics, economics, anything like that. It's just a lot of fun. So go join it. First 500 signups get $20 bonus credit. I've already talked to some of you guys. I know you guys are loving it, but click that link in the description below. Enough of that. It's time for the third best bet. It's a player prop parlay. Give me Sonny Gray over 6.5 Ks and Tyler Mahle no to record a win at -104 on DraftKings. Now, Sonny Gray, 7+ Ks, guys. You saw the numbers already in the good pitcher strikeout matchups. He has 6+ Ks now in 7 straight starts. I know I need 7, but again, 6 is his floor here at 7 straight starts, but he also has 7+ Ks in 3 straight starts. And we talked about this before when we cashed fading a Rays team. I expected when they traded those 2 guys away, they're very very low strikeout guys. This Rays team was going to continue to climb up the rankings and be one of the higher strikeout teams. And sure enough, they have. They have the 3rd highest strikeout percentage versus righties in the last 3 weeks at 26.2%. And last 4 righties against the Rays with this new lineup. This is crazy. Last 4 righties, okay? Spaghetti, we know, on the Astros, 12 strikeouts. Ronel Blanco, 7. Roddery freaking Munoz, 7 Ks. He's a guy who gives up 7 bombs a game. Edward Cabrera, 7 Ks. All of them went over, if you can't tell. Sonny Gray has a higher K rate than every single one of those pitchers. Again, like I said, he's had 6+ Ks in a million straight, through 7+ and 3 straight now. I love him to get 7+ Ks here. If you want a ladder, you could, but I'm just going to go 7+ Ks for him. And then this is a juice reducer. I saw this at -140. 5 on some books. I didn't want to put that out for Sonny Gray, so I needed something to reduce it and enter Tyler Mahle to not record a win. So you got to record a win, hit no. Here's the deal here. It's his first start of the season. So that alone is going to mean he is on a pitch count. If you look at his rehab starts, it looks like he's going to be probably on around a 70, 75, maybe 80 pitches if they want to push it. But this is his first start coming off Tommy John surgery. They paid him $22 million over 2 years. They do not want him to all of a sudden get hurt and push it in his very first start. So there is a very good chance he doesn't even get the 5 required innings to get a win. Then we don't have to worry about anything. I mean, if he goes 4 innings and he's out, we're good to go. There's a reason this one is like -700 or something insane on its own. So with the pitch count, you got that there. And then I also just, if he does go 5 and somehow it does okay, we still have Framber Valdez on the other side against a Rangers lineup that has just struggled all season long, let's face it. So they have a starting pitcher advantage here. And I expect Mahle to also be rusty, as most people are their first start after Tommy John surgery. And if there's a miracle and he goes 5, and the Rangers do have the lead after 5 innings, and then the Rangers bullpen comes in, and that bullpen is not very good either. Astros are pissed off after losing that walk-off home run. That was insane. But I just think there's too many outs for this one. We could do 5 innings. Could be the bullpen blowing it. Could be him blowing it, giving up a lot of runs. I like him to not record a win. So give me Sonny Gray and Tyler Mahle as my player prop parlay, my third and final best bet on this video. And now let's check out those hitter parlay ideas. All right, let's stay hot with these, and we start with Vladimir Guerrero. My goodness, is there anyone hotter than him? 16-game hit streak, 444 last 7 days, 5 for 14 off. Grayson Rodriguez locked that one in. Gunnar Henderson heating up again, 6 for his last 9, hitting 458 in the last 7 days, 2+ hits in 4 of his last 5 games, 1+ hit in 10 of his last 11, as we already talked about, 4 for 7 off of Chris Bassett. The third one, the big man, Aaron Judge, hitting 471 the last 7 days, facing Davis Daniel, who you know is not very good, giving up almost 10 hits per 9 innings. He is just a beast, Mr. Aaron Judge. Fourth one, Matt Chapman, who just came through huge for us with that 3-run bomb yesterday for the Giants. But he's hitting 304 the last 7 days, but he also hits lefties better. This is more under the radar one because he's obviously not as great of a hitter as the first three, but he is hitting 301 off lefties this season in 113 at bats. So I do not mind this matchup at all. And then the fifth one, I'm just going to say two teams to target, Yankees and Orioles hitters. Yankees going up against Davis Daniel, like I mentioned, and the Angels bullpen. And then the Orioles facing Chris Bassett, as I already mentioned many times in this video. There are a ton of options on the Orioles. So those are some good hitter parlay ideas and everything else for you today. Let's get some winners. Any added plays, of course, be in the pinned comments below on X and on Discord. Let's go check out the recap. There it is. We got 3 1-unit plays today. Give me the Red Sox team total over 3.5 at -135 on Bet365. Yes, a little juicy. And then Chris Bassett over 5.5 hits allowed at -115. And then Sonny Gray over 6.5 Ks and Tyler Mahle for the Rangers to not record a win, -104 on DraftKings. I like the board today. I think I'm going to probably add another one in the morning. Might be a hitter parlay. We will find out. But thank you guys for watching again. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you're doing today, whatever it is you want to do. But I do try to check every single comment on our videos. So I appreciate the support. Hope everyone has a great Tuesday, and we'll talk to you soon.